The yield market today is up 1.82%, right? And we all know what this means, right? If we have rising yields, then we have rising dollar, and then we have falling gold, falling currencies. So we're going to look at how that has affected the week. As you know, this has been my stance that we want to see rising yields, want to see bearish gold, bullish dollar, bearish currencies, and that is exactly what has played out today. So we'll look at some of those things and then look at what we can still, some of the opportunities that I'm looking to engage in for the week. All right, guys, let's look at it. Right. So yield today, we see a bounce from that bullish order block. So we are seeing down close candle respect price higher, which is a good sign for buy side and shows that inflation is still, an issue. So the Feds would not be willing to cut rates at this time, right? And if the yield market is rising, we are going to see the dollar rise also. So we also saw an uptick on the dollar. Very interesting. I kind of talked about this yesterday. We've seen a bounce back inside of this breakout block. Up close candle run lower here. We have a breaking market structure, and we see price return back inside of there for NFP. Right. So the way I'm thinking about this month to run is NFP the first week of the month does the manipulation. Right. So we see sell side from the NFP week. Right. And then we're going to see continuation for the rest of the month, the first week of the month, and then we're going to see continuation for the rest of the month. And I think it started already. Right. I was talking to the Inner Circle, which is a private Discord that I run of about 15 members, and we're kind of like dicing this today, and some of them wanted to still see price go lower to take out this low, right? And as much as if you watch my video maybe on Monday, you'd see me talk about how that is a possibility, right? But going into yesterday, I started to say, this could really be, the push. Like we've actually started our buy side play already, and this is the reason I want to show you here. Let's look at it critically. Let's actually look at this. So we've seen a return back into the door, into that up close candle here, the breaker. So this is or should be a failed or should be a valid order block, which we can see that price reacted off of that level, showing that, oh yeah, this is actually a key level. But we did not hold on to sell side. We saw down close candle here, coming clutch, mitigation block, and then we see breaking market structure. That means this valid bearish order block is important to price, right? But not longer for sell side, right? We see price break above and return back into it for an inversion to buy side, right? So we've seen that already happen with NFP, right? Thursday, NFP happened. Friday, we jolted higher, right? And then look at this. This is where all of the story comes together, right? If you look at the 4-hour time frame, you'd see something. Let me take you to okay, this is capital. Let me take you here. All right, guys, I had a small glitch with my internet, but let us continue, right? If you live in Nigeria, these are some of the things that happens. All right, but let's look at it. I was going to show you a broker where I actually have things annotated, which is TVC. Let's see. All right, all right. So we have DXY annotated inside of here. All right. So if we look back and look at what we've had here, we've seen that the dollar, right, has returned back inside of this bullish order block, right? This 4-hour bullish order block. I want to see there is, I think it's 1 hour time frame. There's a time frame that really, really sets things in place here. Maybe it's actually capital.com. That's something I'm looking for. Okay, very good, very good. This is it. So if you look at it, right, that run lower from NFP returned back into this down close candle, right? So we have bullish order block here, a fair value gap. When you have a bullish order block and a fair value gap, right where the bullish order block is, it's a valid order block. This is, some people ask the questions, when do I use the high of the OB? When do I use the open? When do I use the midpoint, right? And even though that question speaks to you wanting to compromise, right, there's a way to know what to use, right? You don't want to wait for the midpoint or the high of the candle when the fair value gap is right where the other block is. So this is the other block, and we can see the fair value gap. So we can see the other block right inside of the fair value gap here. This is fair value gap. This high to this low. Let me just box it out here. All right. So when you see it like this, make no mistake, use the high. Let your stop loss relax here. So we see a bounce from here. Price tries to go lower from this up close candle, but fails. Every time I want to see price move in a direction, I like to see failure swings, meaning a run in a direction that fails to take out sell side liquidity or buy side liquidity. That fails to take out liquidity because this is sell side liquidity resting here, but for some reasons, price did not take out this low. It means that what buy side liquidity is the next stop, right? If the market makers are heavy on buy side here and their stops are backing this low, we would not see price return back to this low. That's why market structure for buy side is higher highs, higher lows. We would not see old lows get taken out in a bullish market structure. So I like to see that idea when I'm looking for buy side. That's, oh, price tried to take out old lows but did not. Sorry. And then what happens next is the next thing that is important. A breaking market structure, right? So we see run lower here, breaking market structure, consecutive candles that close above an old high. That's what a breaking market structure is, right? So we see this, and then price returns back into a bullish order block here. So as I said yesterday, this is a level to watch for. You want to see buy side from here, right? And we saw price expand there, right? The dollar expanding from this bullish OB made GU from this bearish OB here, right? Up close candle run to sell side liquidity. We return back inside of here. Tuesday high of the week clean, right? Tuesday high of the week is a classic profile where we have Monday expand in one direction, and then in this case bullish, and then Tuesday takes out Monday's high in London session. Let's go and see, did that happen in London session? Because that's exactly how this is being said, right? So we see that, okay, in this case, right, Asia session was where we had that run. Right, we see Asia session, right? We see a very shallow run on liquidity on Monday's high and then a breaking market structure that led to sell side for GU. I've done some annotations here from my back testing, so we can use that. Right. When I do my back testing, like I've explained, I'm looking for certain things. I'm looking for time. I'm looking for possible entry levels. Right. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So if you look at this, we had run on buy side liquidity, shallow run, and we had a breaking market structure. Right. Price returns back into that OB. This is breaking market structure, right? So we already saw this is daily OB, right? The daily order block. We ran into it, and going into the day, we ran lower here, breaking market structure. So we're looking at this high to this low as a range to participate. It's inside of this range that you seek for your reference point. So I told you something very interesting yesterday about my 3-step process of entering a trade. I want to see a run on liquidity, shallow run here on previous day's high. And then I want to see a breaking market structure, right, which happens here, consecutive candles closing below an old low. And I want to see a return back into premium or discount of the range. In this case, I'm looking for premium. It's in that place, or it's in that point I would look for OBs, I would look for breakers, I would look for fair value gaps, or what have you. Right, so here, price returns there. And I like this candle, especially 715, where we have a return back to take out London's high. One of the most prettiest way to trade New York session is a run above London's high or low, right? So we see that, but that was not all, right? If you're not able to get in here because New York session was just starting, right? Sometimes I like to wait till 8:30 to engage New York. And then there was more opportunities. We saw another breaking market structure, which is good. Consecutive candles that close below an old low. After I run on buy side liquidity, we just repeat what happened here, right? Run on buy side liquidity, breaking market structure, return back into premium. 10:45 is the time here, and then that would have been an awesome sell. Many of my guys caught this on, or some of my guys caught this on the Discord, which was actually good to see. All right, and we've seen, GU go lower. And just to go into outlook, right? The next point or the next draw on liquidity for me for GU, I'm honestly bearish on this thing until the DXY starts to move otherwise. I'm bullish on the DXY over until all-time highs this year. All right. And I'll just watch that play out. And I want to see this run lower. I'm looking at this as the next stop. So I'll be looking for, either a break towards this low to engage this as a breaker or a return back into this range for sales, right? I'll be watching this level because it's the discount of this range. So I want to see how this plays out. Right. Best case scenario will be that we break through it and then I'll be looking for sales back down into this level. Again, I am overly bearish on this thing. So, I can really just wait out, those breaking market structures, right? And validation will be that right from where we are, we start to see buy side and we start to break out this up close candles here. We start to close above this, yeah, and I will be wrong. I'll take a loss and I would hands up, right? So that's how I'm looking at playing it. I'm looking to heavily be trading tomorrow or today, right? And Thursday also. So let's see how that goes, right? So bearish on GU, right? The daily time frame you might like to see, or the 4 hour, right? I think we've talked about that. Yeah. So again, this is kind of like the guy just holding price down here. I would not advise that you buy down here, right? Except you see a return on the lower time frame that gives you an edge for aiming for these lows, right? Buy, sell, or selling in discounts. I would not advise you sell, sorry. Right, selling in discounts is not something you want to be doing, right? It's one core principle that can take you away from bad trades, right? You don't want to be selling in discounts, right? If you did not sell here, then you have to wait it out. It's either it returns back into premium levels or then we break, showing you that, oh, we are now willing to seek more sell side, and then you can use this as a breaker, right, to engage price lower. So that's how I'm looking at this, right? GU, the other pair I trade is gold, right? So for gold, we've also seen, many of the things that I mentioned to you, levels that I want to be seeing price, reach for. And we've seen those levels actually play out. So bearish order block here. I know my chart is messy because I have annotations, but let me open it out for you. Right, bearish order block here from the week. We saw run on buy side liquidity, right, at Asia's session going into Monday and then breaking market structure. So if we have that, right, one of the things I want you to backtest and backtest properly, if you are still having issues with entries, one of the things I want you to backtest is look for the order block attached to a run on buy side liquidity. So we have run on buy side liquidity. This is the order block. Now, the clause is that order block needs to follow. Like what needs to follow that order block needs to be a breaking market structure. It can't just be anyhow, and it can't just be, any other block. It has to be the order block that what follows it is a breaking market structure. So two things: run on buy side liquidity, break to sell side, right? Meaning run on sell side liquidity. And then that other block is your entry protocol, right? I dropped this trade also in the group, and that was also a good one. So we saw price just run lower here. And this was kind of like the draw on liquidity. I was engaging in Asia session, had a good trade Asia session, but went to bed this morning and closed those positions. Price returned here. And then this was my targets, right? But we had this 1 hour OB, send price higher, right, to take out this high. Again, look at it. That same idea I've been trying to show you with order blocks, right? To run on buy side before the order block. Pretty. Right. So we see that, and then price returns back lower inside of here into this fair value gap. So what are we looking at, right? If we're still bearish, we want to see this fair value gap that is forming right now, send price lower. So going into London, New York session, put your eyes on the ground for that. Right. And I would also be watching, Asia session. I'm waiting for 40 minutes, to kind of see what presents or what presents. So yeah, that's what we have for gold, right? That's what we have for gold. Continuous sell side I want to see. Since yield markets is going higher, then I want to see sell side. Look at this. Daily time frame, we had a large engulfing candle here. So I want to expect this candle to print this type of candle. Doesn't need to be this big, but a bearish candle is what I'm saying. That's what I'm expecting for today. Right. All right, guys. So that's kind of what I'm saying. Another pair that I'm looking at. I trade this once a while, right? But it's been going good. I really do not know why I don't have an entry here because I've been watching this thing. Right. Breaking market structure. This is bullish OB, thorn breaker, right? And we're seeing price, puts in bearish candles back and back here. So I'm expecting a run back into the lows, right? And if you pair that with its family, that would be AU. AU is quite slower, NU is faster, right? And I'm expecting this lows and this lows to be run out, right? Yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm trying to just go over all of the things I was looking at as I was journaling right now. And I had some levels marked out for NAS. I don't know why I don't show you these levels, but today I'm showing you. So yeah. Breaker, OB, I love it. Right. Price takes out an high before getting to the OB. Good study. Right. Not every single time do you have to, make predictions for executions. Right. You can build what you call your edge on other markets without engaging them. Right. It allows you see, exactly what your model is, what your strategy is, and trust it better because you can see that if you see this, you know what to do. Right. So again, that's why I'm showing you this. All right, guys, let me know in the comment section if you are thinking otherwise to this, if there's something you want me to look at. Right. We will all have different opinions when we look at the markets, but I would like to see yours, right? Informed decisions are better than autonomous ones. So yeah, let me know in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. Put a thumbs up on this video if you learned something. All right, guys, I would see you in the next one. Bless up, family.